Get up. Bam, bam, bam. Holy fuck, I am in such a panic. I'm always late for everything. Like, I feel like by the time wow, that's a notification. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 26 of Get Up with Josh Dohy. I've had so much caffeine, and I'm in a fucking rush. Dude, okay, so I need to leave for work in like 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. Could be late. Right? I'm naked. I'm not wearing clothes. I could have penis out underneath the table. Audio listeners are going to have to just stay with me on this one. And I felt like I had to record the podcast right now. It's very impulsive. I haven't had breakfast. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm going to lead you guys through the next 30 minutes. Thank you for joining me. There are many podcasts to choose out there, and you have chosen this one. Don't know why. Maybe you enjoy it. Maybe you don't. You want to laugh at me. You want to laugh with me. You're here. We're here together. And hopefully I can just not be too rushed while I'm doing this. My hands are kind of moving around. I'm feeling strong, feeling lean. I just bought some new things for my joint health. Yeah, isn't that fucking cool? I bought some fish oil and I got some curcumin because I do too many physical things and my joints are starting to hurt. And I'm not talking about the ones that you smoke. I'm talking about the joints that are inside your body that you can only smoke by doing physical activity. I am literally smoking my joints by not taking care of them. I need to be doing wall sits. I need to be taking omega-3. I need to be taking curcumin with turmeric. Right? Or maybe these are just superfood remedies and none of them actually fucking work. Right? Because there's just there's things that people say are the miracle thing and it's all just snake oil. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm just kind of trusting in the omega-3. There should be some science behind that. Takes care of your joints. Can be anything that you want it to be. When I take fish oil, I imagine it cures the joints, makes me feel more physically active, and then also makes my dick larger. Yeah, I take pills to make my dick larger. They're called omega-3. They don't actually... Hey, everyone. So if you have the audacity to think that I can take fish oil and make my penis actually larger, get your beliefs checked. Why don't you go on an internet fact checker? Why don't you just go in and look that up on the Googs? The Google. Because that almost sounded racist, so I had to just correct myself because you don't want to seem racist these days. No, sir. So what's going on, folks? Since the last time I talked to you, I took on a martial arts course that was fucking fun. It was my first time ever doing any kind of martial arts. I've never fought anyone. I've never tried to hit, except for the one time that my friend Darian threw a block of ice at the back of my head, and then I punched him in the face, and then pretended to faint and forget all of it. And thank God I was not the weird kid for the rest of the time because we ended up hanging out after. And we haven't really talked about it since. And there was also a girlfriend that I had made up after grade 6. Her name was Amy. Totally made her up. But I just wanted to seem like I was dating at the time because I just felt like by the time that I got into junior high school, it was time to get ready for sex. Because when I was in grade 6, my brother was telling me about friends who were having sex, and maybe they were just kidding. Maybe they were wrong. Maybe he was lying. But I felt like by the time I got into 7th, 8th, 9th grade, it was time for sex. Didn't lose my virginity until grade 12. But spent all that time preparing for the sex, right? By dating. Just kidding. Didn't date, but really wanted to. Right? There was this girl. Her name will remain unspoken. We will call her Chelsea. And she was super cute, but she was kind of a dick. But also I was a weird kid back then. You know, who wants to date the weird kid? And not weird because I made up a girlfriend. Just weird because I wore colored pants. I skateboarded. Didn't do parkour back then. But I liked to wear colored pants. Skateboard after school, mostly in grade 8 and 9. But I was just kind of wild, I just like to wear as many colors as possible. Didn't matter if they matched. I just wanted to it was my goal to just wear as many fucking colors as possible every single day. And that would result in I would be wearing green hoodie. We're just going to gloss over the fact that I said that strange. And then I would wear yellow pants, and they would call me Yellow Pants Man. But sometimes if I wore the green hoodie with red pants, they would call me, "Hey, you're Christmas Josh." And I would go, "Not the goal." "Oh, anything with red and green is just Christmas? What about a stoplight?" Every time you see a red and a green light, you're just "Oh, Christmas." No, dude. Yeah. Why don't you just have an original thought? How about anything can be red and green? Huh? How about a stoplight could be blue or purple? Huh? Because what is blue? Roy G. Biv. It is one of the colors along the rainbow spectrum. Blue, I shit talk blue a lot, but blue is actually a nice color. And if you saw a stop sign or a stoplight that turned blue, what would you do? Blue means go with the flow, right? What if more stop signs? What if stoplights? What if more stoplights? What if more stoplights? What if more stoplights were blue? Right? And it was just go with the flow, right? A whole intersection with stoplights that are all blue, and everyone just kind of goes with the flow, flows around, goes in between. What about a purple light? It means go with the flow, but like stop if you gotta, right? But go with the flow is like just keep moving. We're gonna do a flow motion, like that's a kind of that's like a stunt thing that we do sometimes, and it sounds like you're saying we're gonna be doing a slow motion but with an F or like a lisp, but actually it's like we're going to be doing like we're going to step through, make sure we're flowing, maintain that intention, dodging, hook, punch, right? I don't really know my punches very well, and that's something that I learned in in that martial arts course, because they would be like, okay, so we're gonna go with like jab, jab, cross, hook, and I would go what? Because right, it's like jab, but everything is crossing, is it not? Right, everything goes across. I don't know. Maybe a punch goes up and down. Right? I'm doing my best. Right, and I was paired up with a guy because you would get paired up into partners. One would be striking, one would be the pad guy, and people really looked out for me. That was sick. People were really helping me out, and like I wasn't as fast as everybody else, but like I felt like I was learning and having fun, and I think what makes a good martial artist, and I could be wrong, right? I've done one course and already I'm talking about what makes a good martial artist, but I've heard a lot of the Joe Rogans speaking on that. But I think what makes a good martial artist is someone who's willing to drop their ego and just try and stay in the moment. And when they fuck up, they don't dwell on it for too long. So that's kind of what I focused on, is like, yes, when you fuck up, it's like, yeah, you want to just be like, fuck, like you just want to dwell on it. You really just like you want to just blame yourself. You want to get inside your own head. You literally just want to like fuck with yourself. Like you do that when you mess up. You just like want to be like, hey, like you suck. But as soon as you fuck up, acknowledge it. You don't have to say anything out loud, but like acknowledge it and then return to square one as soon as possible. That's the best thing that you can do for yourself, because that's what I would try and do. Like I would fuck up a combination and I would go and that was like the peak containment of that frustration. But at the start it would be like I would fuck up punching, I would go fuck, and you would just get caught up in blaming yourself, and eventually I understood how counterproductive that is, because you don't learn anything from getting angry at yourself. You learn from returning to square one and trying again. Motherfucks, little bit of knowledge. It's knowledge hour. It's time for the knowledge. I'm going to be giving you guys some sacred knowledge. Sacred as in keep it close to your heart, right? When you fuck up, pick yourself back up again and go for it again. And don't get frustrated at yourself. You will. But try and contain that frustration and use it as fuel for your next attempt, right? Don't use it as something to keep you down. Use it as something to boost you up. Yes. And it was good. There was a boxing portion, there was like a taekwondo kick portion, and like my basics suck, but I can do some like advanced kicks. Like I can do like a 540 kick, which is like you jump up and kick with your hind leg and then land on that leg again. You imagine this is my left leg, this is my right leg. This one comes over, this one kicks, and then I land back on, big slam there. Land back on that leg again, as opposed to, it's really hard to just like demonstrate it through words, but basically you do a kick, right? But on pads I can do like the complicated kicks, like the tornado kicks, the 540 kicks, the cheat 720 kicks, the cheat 720 double. Whoa, we're getting a little crazy here. But when it comes to the basics, I fucking suck at them, because like I like to do the flashy tricking kicks. Those are really fun. But conventional kicks, I'm not very good at. And our instructor was really, really keen on letting everyone know how badly I sucked at those. Which was like kind of funny because, again, my goal was to keep my ego out of the way when I was doing it. So anytime I would do a sucky kick, he would be like, ugly! Is that... I'm trying not to take on an accent here. But you look, everyone, this is an ugly kick. He would say it like differently. But... How do I do this? Yeah, but he was just quick to point out the ugly kicks, and that was kind of funny for me, honestly. And then the final portion of class was just working on stunt falls, which was, we'd be doing like cork falls. You would go for a corkscrew and do like a 180 and land on your back. And that was the stuff I was comfortable and confident with. So that was a lot easier. And then eventually we'd have to do like a fight beat, which is like, I always have a hard time coming up with quick stunt choreography, especially when there's a goal, like a goal of like, okay, so you do a few hits and then fall. For whatever reason, I just make up really basic shit, I guess, just because I haven't had a whole lot of experience doing stunt shit. But yeah, that was super fun and super cool. And that was a first time experience. And then... holy shit, another first time experience, went skydiving with Jovy and our friend Sarah. Holy shit, dude. Like, skydiving was never something that I wanted to do. In fact, like, I was really hoping like I could just go my whole life without ever doing it. But then also I thought to myself, like, if I never jumped from the sky, right? If I died, ended up in the sky, and was just like, hey, this would be fun if I had a physical form. I did it. I finally fucking did it. So, like, I was not down. I was not down for skydiving. But Jovy really wanted to do it for his 20th or 21st birthday or something like that. And he talked about it a lot and said that we were going to do it. And I committed to it with him, not really wanting to do it, but, like, I committed to it because we're really good friends and fuck it. Like, whatever we do together, right? We just go into that together. Like if we travel, we do it together. If we blow bubble gum, we do it together. If we fight a dragon, dildo, we do it together, right? So I'm not going to let him skydive alone. And especially I'm not going to show up and not do it. So I was kind of like lukewarm committed to it. And then the day came. Like with skydiving, you kind of just book it the day before or the day of. And so it was like the day before we were gathered at the house. And then Jovy was like, hey, we're going to book it for tomorrow. And I was like, oh shit, really? Like, I don't know if I'm actually like really down to do this. And then, but of course I had to do it. Right? I'm not going to just like, I'm not going to be a scaredy cat and just jump out of this opportunity. It's a once in a lifetime thing, or multiple, as it could end up being for me now, because it was, spoiler alert, super fun. But it was the night before and Jovy went to pay for it. And he couldn't put it on his credit card because low credit score, I guess, or something. But he couldn't put it on his credit card, so I had to put it on my credit card. So all of a sudden, that just solidified me as the facilitator of this. I was like, fuck. Like, not only have I chosen to participate in this, I have locked myself in by putting this on my credit card. There is no choice but to do this shit. And so we committed to it. I bought it, and the next day, we woke up. And I will say, after purchasing it, I was shooketh. Like, I went to go hang out with one of my friends after, and in the Uber on the way there, I could feel like how hostile I was like coming off. Like, I could kind of tell that the Uber driver was just like not digging the vibe that I was putting out, because like we were just silent the whole time. And when I'm anxious, it's very obvious, because like, I don't know, I'm just kind of just very energetically in tune with who I am. I try and express who I am, and I try and just let that come out whenever I just try and just go with the flow, play where I'm at. Like, if I'm anxious, like I'm just like that. And I was so shook the whole night, like just scared, didn't want to like experience things. Like, when you're anxious, you don't want to experience reality, or at least that's kind of like how I feel. Like, I just don't want to be a part of the reality that's happening. And that's how that felt. I was just kind of in denial of everything that was happening. I was like, anything that was happening, I would be like, like just kind of holding myself away from every experience that was occurring, as opposed to fully embedding myself and being consciously present in the present experience. I was just kind of anxious about the future, right? When you're anxious, you are stuck in the future. If you're depressed, you're stuck in the past. Don't know if you've heard that before. But yeah, I was just kind of like fucking scared. And I woke up the next day still shooketh, a little bit less. But yeah, showed up at our friend's house, and the car ride there was tense, bro. Like we were all freaked out, but we were all like excited at the same time because we're all in it together. Like we're all committed. No one's gonna no one's gonna back out last second. Like I keep wanting to say pussy out, but like I guess you just don't say that these days. So that's kind of why I'm hesitating when I'm saying things. I'm really trying to change my language, be more current, be more inclusive, try not to exclude, try not to be a bigot because I know I look like one, and the place where I grew up, it was that was the language, but you try and change with the times, right? You cannot use your upbringing or anything like that as an excuse. You must just, when you understand that something you're doing is wrong, you just change it, right? Don't fight it. Don't firm your roots up, Don't, you don't just go like, well, this is the way things have always been. You just change, right? When you find out that something that you're doing is just wrong, just change, right? I guess and it's hard, right? Like you see a lot of old people when they're introduced to new things, they don't want to change because it's too much. I guess they're just fucking old. But like, if the thing that you need to change is like being racist or like, or bigoted or counting someone out, you should probably change it. Like no matter how hard it is, I guess. I don't know. So that's what I'm working on. So I'm trying not to say pussy out because is that wrong? I don't know. Okay. But yeah, we were trying not to drop out of the experience, and shit started to get really real as soon as we started approaching the place because it was like an hour-long car ride. And we're ooh, and I was sitting in the back, of course, because Jovy has to sit in the front because Jovy and this person are kind of seeing each other, but they're not, right? 2020, no one's actually dating. We're just fucking and seeing each other and having things. But I let them kind of have their little electric moment in the front, and then whenever I would feel some electricity myself, I would reach up and touch Jovy's face like this, like that, and then he would go, haha, we are friends. But then we showed up at the place, and we're like as we were rolling up, like a very tense song started playing, like kind of like akin to like Eminem's "Lose Yourself," like because nobody's fucking heard that song before, Josh. But like it just got really tense. And then we showed up, and we thought that there would be like a safety orientation or something, like a long class or something, like at least like a sit down, you watch a video how to skydive properly and stuff. But no. They just tell you like three things, like hold on to here, lean your head back, cross your legs, and then when they tap your shoulder, you can let go and just be. And so they told us that a few times, put us in the harness, put us in the plane, and that was it. Like we got paired up with a tandem person, like you get someone to love you and lovingly embrace you the whole time, especially on the plane ride up. I was very comforted by the guy that I was paired up with because he looked like a friend that I had before. Can't really put a finger on who exactly he looked like, but I kind of felt like a bond with this person, and that made me feel more safe with this guy. And my whole goal with the experience was to not let the panic take over and to just remain present. So my way of doing that was to just take control of my breathing, like understand whenever my breathing would get short, and then also identify if any muscles were holding any kind of tension and to just release that. And that was my way of staying calm and present. And they told us when we were there that it's only scary until you jump out. Like, and the scariest part is when the door opens, but all you have to do is get to the door, right? The door of the plane opens and you're like, holy shit, this is about to happen. And then as soon as you jump out, it's just release. Like you're just like spirit coming the whole time. And that's like a really, I'll admit that's a very visceral way of saying that, but like that's kind of like how that felt. Like I just, I tried to remain calm the whole plane ride up, and there was this song that was stuck in my head the whole time. It was this new song by Action Bronson, and it's kind of like an advertisement for this like hypothetical fragrance that he came up with called Splash, and then he's got a moniker for himself, Baklava, like young Baklava, like that's just like what he calls himself. I don't know if you guys enjoy Action Bronson. Check out his new album if you do. He's a rapper from New York, Brooklyn, I think. Hope I don't get shot. But. There was a song that he made called Splash, and it just goes, Splash by Baklava. And I just like, I was like nodding my head the whole way, just like that was my comfort song. And then, just kind of taking the tension out. So splash. Baklava. Oh shit, time to jump, huh? And then we just like went. Like, okay, the first few people went out and they were jumping solo, which was dope as shit. And then Jovy went out first. I was like, let's get it, Jove. And then fucking and then Sarah jumped out, and then it was me. I was the last one. Sat on the edge, looked down. Holy shit, that's a long way. And then I just took my feet off the edge, crossed them, hands on the harness, head back, and then he shuffles off. And then I screamed with my entire being, yes! Holy fuck, yes! There was like no fear. It was just like me being so excited to be doing this. Because like, yeah, I was scared the whole way going up to it. But as soon as you're in the experience, just feel the pleasure of that. And then like, finally he lets me take my hands off the harness. And I'm like, oh, yes! Fuck yes! Fuck yes! Fuck yes! And then I started crying out of joy. And it was just a beautiful experience. It was so dope. And like halfway down, I told my tandem guy, I was like, dude, I feel like I just came with my whole soul. And then he didn't answer. So that was a little bit awkward. But yeah, it was a bit of an awkward parachute ride down. So like, it was like, so you want to do some spins? And in my head, I was like, yeah, we just didn't address that weird thing that I said. And so we're just going to kind of leave that hanging in the air. Just like we were. And the parachute portion was kind of fun because you're just standing there, right? Like you feel like you're flying at first when you're falling, and then you pull the parachute and you're just like standing. You're standing on air and just falling very slowly and doing spirals and stuff. And that felt really cool. But part of it did hurt because I had recently hit my nuts doing a parkour line that really fucking hurt. But I say hit my nuts, but like I fell and hit like next to my nuts. And so that's exactly where the harness was. And it was pulling really hard on it. So part of the experience was really nice. But the other part of it was like really like holding back cries of pain. And tensing my legs so that they wouldn't fully fall into the harness, because holy fuck, like I had a bruise right there and it just like really hurt. Like you ever pushed on a bruise? Yeah. So that was the experience in the parachute. And then we did some, like spirals going down and stuff, and that was dope. And really dope experience. Would do again. We were so thrilled when we touched down. We went and got burgers after, and like that was just the dopest shit. And yeah, if you've ever thought about skydiving, go and do that. And I talked to my dad about it, and he went skydiving before safety was invented, apparently, because when he went skydiving, they did like a long course, and then he just got to do it alone. What the fuck? What year was safety invented? Because they just let people jump out of planes by themselves with no formal, like you get like a little bit of training. But he did say that there was no free fall portion. So that kind of makes sense. You jump out and instantly pull the chute. Sounds less fun. It sounds less like skydiving and more like parachuting to me, Dad. So maybe you didn't go skydiving, Dad. Maybe you went parachuting before safety was invented, when everything was in black and white, before the internet was invented. Yeah, my dad's pretty old. Yeah, but hoping to go see him soon. I don't think I'm going to be microdosing this time, because last time I was microdosing and I was reading through a bunch of my old comedy material, and that made the whole experience very frustrating. Like I was kind of just in a very frustrated mindset, because like when you're reading through old jokes, at least for me, like when I'm reading through old joke books, I can see like how shitty my writing used to be and still is. I'm doing stand-up comedy these days, by the way, really fucking fun, but kind of lost faith in my material after watching A Really Funny Night, and I think I need to write some new shit. So with all the shit that I've got going on, hard to fit it in, but I'm going to be doing it. That's kind of the weird part about being an adult, is that there's just so many fucking hobbies to kind of juggle, and I worry that once I have to start working more, because I'm living off savings that I have. I'm worried that once I have to start working more, I'm going to have to start picking and choosing hobbies. What the fuck? So hopefully the podcast can stay around, parkour can stay, acting has to stay, because that's going to be, like, I really want that to be the way that I make a living. Because imagine that. It'd be so fucking fun. being an actor for a living. That's what I want. I've got an audition coming up for a lead role in an indie horror film that I'm working on. I'm not working on the horror film, but that is the audition that I'm currently working on. There's always auditions coming in these days because the acting industry is kind of picked back up. Really happy about that because I am really excited about being an actor because you just work really hard and it's kind of like a lottery ticket, and like you just put your heart and soul into each audition, and then maybe one day it'll just be like, ding, you booked like this dope shit, and I'll be like, oh cool, well now I get to express myself and have fun, because like the work of being an actor is the audition stuff, and then when you book something, it's kind of like the play. Like, sure, you have to, learn your lines and shit like that, which is not that hard. You just read them over and over and over again. You just have to focus, and then you just get to celebrate and play and play pretend. Anyway, that was a long, uninterrupted thought, but the time now is 2:17. Oh boy, I'm late for everything. Like, I feel like every time I record the podcast, like I'm going to be late for something. And this time it's work. Because it's about a half-hour bike ride and it's 2:17. I work at 3 o'clock. And I'll probably just be editing this while I'm at work because sometimes I'm just left unattended and then I could just do it. But I also need to be working on lines, and then later on there's like there's an actor party later on for a short film that I was the cameraman on, and gonna be doing that. Oh, COVID. Oh, we're all gonna be sticking to our own bubbles. There will be masks. Everyone's got hand sanitizer, and we won't be touching or speaking. I do not condone going to parties, but or maybe I'm not going to the party, huh? Maybe decide for yourself, right? Is this guy going to the party? Maybe I've just decided right now that I won't be going, and maybe I just will never talk about it. Maybe a lot of people are breaking COVID regulations and not talking about it. Maybe I'm more truthful for admitting that, but there's no work that I have coming up, such as like movie things, unless I book this role. So, right, being irresponsible, but I am alone. No one's here right now. There's no Jovy, there's no Davis. I'm just alone, so I will not be giving corona to anyone. But what if you're a super spreader, right? What if you have what if you are asymptomatic and spreading it? I don't know what will happen. Nobody knows. But what I do know is that most people could probably be doing better with their COVID stuff, including myself. I've been wearing a mask a lot more. Like when I go into stores and things like that, I just put on the mask. It just does not matter to me anymore. It's just like, I just put on the mask when I go in places like coffee shops, grocery stores, Shoppers Drug Mart, where I got my like joint health thingy things. And that is that. I think this is just going to be the short episode because I got to put on clothes and I'm really hungry, but I won't be having breakfast. Maybe I'll just have like a banana and maybe I'll eat pumpkin pie. Yeah. Maybe I'll just eat pumpkin pie at work. They've got snacks at work. There's like almonds and pepperoni and stuff. So tight. You try not to take too much though, right? Because it's for everyone to share, right? Don't want to be taking too much, right? You don't want to be a greedy pig. We talked about that a few episodes ago. But I'm gonna wrap it up here so I can maybe be on time because I gotta like turn all the lights off, and then I'll probably just leave the podcast studio up. Also, nothing. Gotcha. But yeah, short episode this week. If the episodes seem like they're getting shorter and shorter, they are. It's not on purpose. I'm just fucking always late for things, and I'm pretty poor at time management. But I will be recording next week's episode. I'll give you guys an extra long one. Maybe I'll even do it standing. But yes, my name has been and will always be Josh Dohy. And this has been episode 26 of Get Up. Special thanks to Kevin Thompson and Wes Rundle for tuning in. Fucking love you guys. Thank you for watching and always supporting. You guys rule. You guys are really awesome, and thank you for tuning in. And you are dope. Also, COVID Cop is not a great way of referring to you because you're also just a chill guy. You're awesome, good at singing, good at making music, and keep doing that because that was the guy that I met while I was doing PA work. That was a fun experience, honestly. It was long hours, but very fun. But yes, thanks for tuning in. And if I haven't given you a shout out, drop a comment in the comment section below and I will shout you out next time, maybe. Bye.